Welcome to Track in the Week. On Monday, Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger imposed a 0.5% levy on imported goods to fund their new three-state union. After exiting the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS, it applies to all goods imported from outside the three countries, excluding humanitarian aid. However, details on how the fund will be utilized were not disclosed. The three nations formed the Alliance of Sahel States in 2023 as a security pact, which has since evolved into an economic and military bloc with plans for biometric passports and closer cooperation. This move effectively ends free trade within West Africa under ECOWAS and underscores the growing rift between the Sahel states and regional powers such as Nigeria and Ghana. The juntas announced their departure from ECOWAS last year, accusing the bloc of failing to support their fight against Islamist insurgents. Also on Monday, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, reaffirmed his commitment to securing the sovereign territory of the country as they celebrated Eid al-Fitr with wounded soldiers at the 44th Nigerian Army Reference Hospital. The Chief of Army Staff disclosed this during a Salah luncheon with sick and wounded in action personnel and troops deployed on operation in one division's area of responsibility in Kaduna. The Chief of Army Staff, represented by Commander Infantry Corps Major General Abdul Ibrahim, praised their sacrifices and assured them that they had not been forgotten. The Army Chief reiterated his commitment to national security, highlighting successes in clearing banditry from Kano to Abuja. On Tuesday, in complete disregard to the directive of the Kogi State Government and advice of State Police Command, Embattled Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan arrived on Okene at her central home in a helicopter. The Kogi State Government had on Monday banned public rallies and entry of convoys into the state, citing security concerns, while the chairman of Okei Local Government, Amoka Monday, also declared a curfew, all in a bid to stop the deviant Natasha. But the embattled senator arrived by helicopter at 1 p.m., stunning the waiting crowd who had gathered in front of a country home in Iyima since the morning. The supporters carrying placards and chanting solidarity songs defied police warnings and the curfew imposed by the chairman of Okei Local Government area ahead of her homecoming. She was received by her teeming supporters who had waited patiently for her arrival. Also on Tuesday, communities around Old Ilushi Road, Okwere and Goodwill Junction in Uromi, Edo State was deserted by residents for fear of reprisals and attack by security agents following the lynching of 16 travelers by a mob in the area 2 Thursdays ago. This came as Governor Monday Okpebolo of Edo State in Kano assured that justice will prevail for those killed in the mob attack. He also visited the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barau Jibrin, where he said the 14 suspects so far arrested in connections with the killing would soon be moved to Abuja for further interrogation. This is even as the Iowa Consultative Forum AFC called for an independent judicial panel to investigate the killings. It was gathered that residents of Uromi and environs also stopped going to their farms, with many seeking refuge in neighboring towns. Some residents who spoke shared circumstances that led to the mob action. On Wednesday, President Bola Tinubu removed Mele Kyari as the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, dissolving the company's board. The decision, effective April 2, 2025, was announced in a statement signed by Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, early Wednesday morning, citing the need for enhanced operational efficiency, restored investor confidence, and a more commercially viable NNPC. President Tinubu invoked his powers under Section 59, subsection 2 of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA 2021, to carry out the sweeping reconstitution. According to the statement, Bayo Julari takes over from Kyari as the new group CEO, while Amadou Musa has been appointed as NNPC's new non-executive chairman, replacing Pius Akinyerule. Also, Adedapo Shegun was confirmed as the company's chief financial officer. In line with the PIA, the president also appointed 6 non-executive directors from each geopolitical zone. They include Bello Rabi representing Northwest, Yusuf Usman from the Northeast, and Babs Omotoa, a former managing director of the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG) for the North Central. Still on Wednesday, Edo State Governorship Petition Tribunal finally affirmed the election of Governor Monday Okpebolo and All Progressive Congress in the September 21, 2022 governorship poll in Edo State. On Wednesday in Abuja, the three-man panel of the tribunal upheld the election as being validly conducted, just as it dismissed the petition brought before it by Asue Godalo and the People's Democratic Party. Correspondent Kolojo reported the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Wilfred Bochi, delivered the landmark judgment on Wednesday evening. Among others, the tribunal held that the petitioners failed to prove of the voting and also failed to call relevant witnesses. Besides, Justice Bochi asserted that Godalo and PDP did not speak to the documents attended. Instead, the documents were dumped on the tribunal. On Thursday, after initial hesitation, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited increased the pump price of petrol to 925 naira per litre at its retail station in Lagos and 950 naira per litre in Abuja. The new price regime, effective from April 2, 2025, represents an increase of 65 naira from the previous price of 860 naira per litre in Lagos and a 70 naira difference from the 880 naira previously sold in the north. Recall that the previous week, MRS and other independent marketers increased the price of petrol, raising its pump price to 930 naira per litre in Lagos and 960 naira per litre for residents living in the northern part of the country. Industry experts said the new increase is a direct fallout of the recent suspension of sale of petroleum products in naira to the Dangote refinery. These adjustments reflect ongoing challenges in Nigeria's deregulated fuel market and follow shift to market competition, supply costs, and global oil price trends. Still on Thursday, the Independent National Electoral Commission said a petition to recall Senator Duagan, representing Kogi Central, has not met requirement of the Constitution. INEC, in a tweet on its X handle, said the petition for the recall of Senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District has not met requirement of Section 69, subsection A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. Recorded voters of the Akpoti Duagan constituency allegedly signed petition and had approached INEC on their quest to recall their senator, who is having a running battle with the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. On Friday, the Supreme Court nullified judgment of Court of Appeal in Abuja, which had recognized Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party. Delivering a unanimous verdict, a five-member panel of the Apex Court ruled that the Court of Appeal lacked jurisdiction to declare Abure as the party's leader. Correspondent Kolojo reported the panel emphasized that party leadership disputes remain an internal affair, falling outside jurisdiction of the court. The Supreme Court maintained that the Court of Appeal had no jurisdiction to make a pronouncement after determining that the substance of the case concerned the party's leadership. The decision follows an appeal filed by Senator Ninadi Usman and another appellant, which the Apex Court found to be meritorious. Lastly, on Friday, Justice Bita Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja part parties in the suit filed by suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan against President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and three others from granting press interviews on issues relating to the 6-month suspension. Nyako issued the order on Friday following a complaint by Kehinde Ogunwumiju San, a lawyer to Akpabio, that the plaintiff was moving from one television house to another, granting press interviews on issues relating to a case currently pending before the court. Correspondent Kolojo reported that in the ruling, Justice Nyako said there shall be no press interviews by all parties and their lawyers as regards the subject matter of the case. Justice Nyako also barred parties and their lawyers from engaging in the streaming of proceedings in the case on social media. And that's it on Tracking the Week.